continue the report in Earth and Life Science, we are talking about the history of the Earth through geologic time. It is focused on geologic time scale and timeline. Together with that, we will answer the three questions. Number 1. What are the divisions on the geologic time scale? Number 2. What are the characteristics of the major subdivision in the geologic time scale? Number 3. How can the Earth's history be interpreted from the geologic time scale? Last meeting, we talked about absolute and relative dating. This mechanism na ito ay ginagamit para maintindihan ang historical background ng ating planeta to us to determine kung ano-anong pangyayari na naganap using the layers of the rocks and sediments in our planet. So my definition, the geologic time scale serves as the calendar of events in Earth's history. So ito yung ginagamit ng mga geologists to really understand the happenings and events na nangyari sa ating planeta. So they make use of rock samples or records of rocks, fossils, and of course with that they were able to determine different events na nangyari during a certain period in the time of our planet. So they make use of these different mechanisms: relative dating, regiometric dating, index fossil. So, in relative dating, ginagamit ang relation of rock to be able to determine which layers younger and older. In regiometric dating, they make use radioisotopes or radioactive elements to determine numerical dates of rocks exist or have existed. In index fossils, they make use of the fossils or organisms that are predominantly certain time and age that are deposited in sedimentary of rocks.
So, may iba't ibang division. Merong major, may subdivision ng geologic time scale. Ang pinakamalaking division ng time is called aeons. So, it represents the longest amount subdivision of time. At ang pinakamaliit naman ay ang epoch. It is the smallest unit in geologic time scale. So in terms, in the longest and the smallest or the shortest, so aeons yung pinakamalaki or mahaba na subdivided into era, and the era is subdivided into period, and yun nga yung pinakamaliit is epoch. So the aeons are divided into two, the Precambrian and Phanerozoic. The Precambrian is accounts of 88% of the Earth's history. So yan yung pinakamahaba, nandyan yung beginning of the Earth and kumbaga stabilization of the Earth itself. Dahil nga information, masyadong patriotic ang in-expect ng environment, nagsisettle or nagko-cool down hanggang sa nag-permit na ang planet natin to support the earliest life form. And the Phanerozoic naman, it literally means visible. So dito na yung larger organism na nabuhay. The Precambrian is divided into three, the Hadean, Archean, and Proterozoic. So support ng life sa Hadean dahil chaotic pa ang environment at hindi nabubuhay ang mga organisms. Hadean is also called Chaotic Aeon. It lives 800 million years. Hades is equal to hell. Coincides with the late heavy bombardment. Earth is continuously bombarded by meteorites. Oceans and atmosphere were formed, and also Earth's core and crust stabilized. Sa Archean naman, formed the coldest fossils. Most of the Earth was covered with ocean. Continent formation began. The Earth cooled may now support life. In Proterozoic era, nandyan na yung earliest life form, the bacteria and the blue-clay algae. 1.9 billion years it lives, the longest aeon. Time of great changes, oxygenation of atmosphere, origin and diversification of eukaryotic life, multicellular organisms, existence of bacteria and blue-green algae. By end of this aeon, life in the ocean may have appeared. It is possible that the reason that limited information is recorded during the Precambrian eons is that the rocks formed is this time is no longer available or any small portion is left on the earth to be studied. Ang Phanerozoic, even if maiksi sa Precambrian, doon na nangyari ang mas madaming events. This relation with the formation of the earth and existing of living organisms. So the Phanerozoic is divided into three, the Paleozoic, Mesozoic, and Cenozoic. In early Paleozoic, it is the beginning of Earth life. Dito rin nabuo na nag-exist ang supercontinent na tinatawag na Pangaea. And sa era din na ito nagkaroon ng mga terrestrial plants. Life greatly diversified. Fossils of trilobites and paracubites were found. Paleozoic marine forms developed shells. First animal to succeed in adapting to breathe air. Land plants started to develop. Giant ferns and marsh plants, clams and snails increase in number. Fish diversity increased. The reptiles, terrestrial climate change, plants grew, formed the huge deposited in many parts of the world. Mesozoic, it is very known to be the age of dinosaurs at sa era na ito nagbo-break ang Pangaea into two large plant blood muscles na tinatawag na Laurasian and Gondwana. New bodies of water were also formed. Dinosaurs existed, descendants of primitive reptiles, ancestors of birds. Became separate plates. Turtles, snakes, lizards, crocodiles, and alligators remain the only survived in this era. In Cenozoic era, ito naman yung pinaka-latest. It is the age of recent life and the age of mammals. So, sabi dito, rocks are accessible. So, it means that geologists are able to study rocks better they are able to identify fossils and understand further rock layers and what have deposited sa mga rock layers na yun. The mountain were unlifted volcanic activity, flows of lava and basalt. Warm-blooded animals, marsupials, and primitive mammals are born. Fossils taught for specific diets, limb structure for various postures, increased brain size. In the end of Phanerozoic era and Cenozoic era, glaciers Cenozoic era covered the northern hemisphere. It lives 2 million years ago. This is the geologic timeline represented how the eras and the mammals lives. And